Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special breaking news edition of Comment Section. That's right. Guys, on Monday, we got some big news, specifically for a topic that we cover a lot on Comment Section, which is the Arrowverse. And today, the CW announced that the upcoming 9th season of The Flash will be the show's final season, and this is such a bittersweet moment for me personally, because it's one of those pieces of news where you're like, yeah, it's what's best, but at the same time, it's like one of those things where you're just like, I'm not sure if I'm really ready to let go. So let's get into it. We'll talk about what this news means. Is now the right time to end the show, and what can we expect from the show's grand finale, specifically the grand finale of the Arrowverse, since The Flash is the last running show from that franchise. So, I've been a big fan of The Flash since the pilot aired back in October 2014. And, well, even before that, when they had Grant Gustin first play Barry Allen in Season 2 of Arrow, which I remember at the time, that was like those two episodes were the best episode of Arrow. And Season 2 of Arrow, man, I mean, Arrow it went up and down in quality. Some seasons were great, like the first season or Season 5, and then there was Season 4 and Season 6. But Season 2 of Arrow, oh man, that is just a perfect season of superhero television. But that, at the time, the two episodes where Barry Allen guest starred, those were at the time the best episodes Arrow had ever done. And I remember when the CW released that 5-minute trailer for the pilot episode on YouTube, which I remember thinking, 5 minutes out of a 42-minute episode? Okay. You know what? I'll take what I can get. And I just remember watching that trailer over and over and over and over. It was really cool because it showed in the pilot we were going to get a little crossover between Barry Allen and Oliver Queen. And I was like, wait a minute. That means we're going to get Green Arrow twice that week. Oh, it was awesome. And yeah, the Flash trailer and the Gotham series premiere trailer were the two trailers I watched so much from that era. And I remember, I don't watch a lot of TV shows when they air. I don't think I watch any anymore. I did watch The Simpsons, but now I have to watch it a week later on Saturdays. But the Flash pilot is one of the few times. I've watched many episodes of the Arrowverse, but that was one of the few times I actually watched an episode when it aired. I think the other few times where I watched the Season 2 finale of Arrow, the Season 1 finale of Supergirl, because I thought Superman would be in it, but you just see his feet, and the pilot episode of The Flash, and I did an episode of The Flash because it was Thanksgiving break, and I had a break from college, so. But yeah, the Flash pilot was one I made sure to watch, and I love the show. You know what? I don't care. I am actually a fan of Seasons 3 and 5. I know a lot of fans aren't, but I did really enjoy those seasons. And for me, the show kind of started to struggle right after Crisis on Infinite Earths, because then you had that story with the Mirrorverse, and then the Forces storyline, which nobody liked, and the whole Godspeed thing felt really rushed, and there was kind of a feeling. I remember when I was watching Season 8 this year, I was like, this show's best days are behind it. And it's felt like ever since Crisis on Infinite Earths, the Flash has kind of struggled. And I just remember watching Season 8 and being like, you know what? I've been rooting for it to have a full 10-year run like Smallville had, but I think that I remember after season 8, I was like, you know what? I think it's time. If they're not going to switch up the writer's room or anything, it's time to end the show. And, that's actually what happened with all of the Arrowverse shows. Like, I enjoyed season 7 of Arrow, but it was like, I think it's time. And then Supergirl and Black Lightning was also like, you know what? I think it's time. And then they announced that the show was coming to an end. So, besides the fact that The Flash is coming to an end, it's also the end of the Arrowverse because, earlier, a few months ago, the CW canceled Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman, and we had announced that Superman Lois is separate from the Arrowverse. So when The Flash airs its final episode, when that title card pops up, because they do have it at the start of the show, they say The Flash, and then right before the credits, you see the title again, which it did for all the Arrowverse shows. That's going to be the end of this franchise that we started back in 2012 when Oliver Queen left Lian Yu. And, looking back, thinking about the Arrowverse is really going to come to an end next year. Looking back at that era, I just can't help but feel like lucky that we got to experience this. Like, for years, whenever I would rank my favorite DC characters, obviously Batman and Superman are at the top. But right under them is Green Arrow and The Flash. And I got to have a live-action DC universe built around those characters. And, some people, we had 3 interconnected superhero universes in the 2010s. We had the MCU, we had the DCEU, we had the Arrowverse. And the thing that was so special about the Arrowverse is like I love Captain America, but you really only see him in one movie a year. But with like Flash and Green Arrow, I got to visit those characters 22 episodes a season. And it was really special. And 5 years into the Arrowverse, this would be Season 5 of Arrow, Season 3 of The Flash, Season 2 of Supergirl. The prodigal son returned to the CW after Smallville ended. They brought in Superman, one of my, right under Batman, my favorite DC character that's not Batman. And Tyler Hoechlin played him, and that the Arrowverse gave us who is in my top 3 favorite versions of Superman. Like, for me, my favorite Superman, it's a tie between Christopher Reeve, Tom Welling, and Tyler Hoechlin. Like, I love the Tyler Hoechlin version of Superman, both in the Arrowverse and in Superman Lois. I mean, let's be honest. Superman Lois is basically the Arrowverse Superman. They just don't, name drop the Flash or Supergirl. So, I just look at this era and I feel lucky that I got to experience it. And I don't know if we'll ever have another DC-connected TV universe like this again. Now, to be fair, I also thought after Smallville ended, well, I guess that's it for superhero TV shows. They'll just all be in the movies now. And then, we got this great golden age. But we're not going to have the whole 22 episode a year multiple superhero shows running at the same time like we did the Arrowverse. And I just can't help but feel lucky that we got to experience this. And, for me personally, whenever I think of superhero franchises, once you get to that 10-year mark, I always think, it is time to think about ending them. And in October, it's going to be 10 years since Arrow premiered. And as much as I love the Arrowverse, once you hit that 10-year mark, you at least need to consider, is it time to call it quits and let the characters be reborn for a new generation and create a new iteration created? And, one of the things I always worried about was that, Green Arrow and Flash are two of my favorite DC characters. I always worried that, like, when the show ended, like, when the Arrowverse ended, that we'd kind of have, the leftovers. Like, we'd kind of run out with Legends of Tomorrow. And I did enjoy the first 3 seasons of Legends of Tomorrow, but looking at it this way, we're going out with The Flash, which at the same time is airing, even though it's non-continuity, a Superman spinoff. So, Flash and Superman airing at the same time, for me, that's the Arrowverse going out on a high note. And I just, it feels like hopefully both are good. And we're just going to go out on a high note. I have no doubt Superman Lois Season 3 will be great. And I think we'll at least get a couple good Flash episodes. Even though the show's been struggling recently, I think we'll get some good stuff. But, once the Arrowverse ends, it's still going to live on because, again, non-continuity, Superman Lois is a spinoff. And the fact that Flash is ending and ending the Arrowverse does show that it was the right decision to have Superman Lois be separate. And Stargirl, they brought in John Wesley Shipp to play Jay Garrick. So it's at least continuing to carry the torch of what the Arrowverse started. So I guess to sum it up, I just feel lucky that we got to experience this. And there's a quote from Eric Wallace that I'd like to read off. This comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter, where I'm reading this quote. And Eric Wallace has been the showrunner since season 6, so he's been in charge of season 6, 7, 8, and he'll be in charge of the final season. And he said, 9 seasons, 9 years of saving Central City while taking audiences on an emotional journey full of heart, humor, and spectacle. And now Barry Allen has reached the starting gate for his last race, said Wallace in a statement on Monday. Man, hearing that's not gonna lie, that gets you thinking about it's his final race. So many amazing people have given their talents, time, and love to bring this wonderful show to life each week. So, as we get ready to honor the show's incredible legacy with our exciting final chapter, I want to say thank you to our phenomenal cast, writers, producers, and crew over the years who helped make The Flash such an unforgettable experience for audiences around the world. And, speaking of unforgettable experiences, I remember when we saw promos for Flash and Arrow, both airing on the CW, and we knew we were going to get crossovers, but it really brought me back to being 5 years old and watching the new Batman Superman adventures on Kids WB, where, you'd see him crossover in the theme song. And then the crossovers reminded me of, do you guys remember the old Power Rangers crossovers where the current team would team up with the team from the previous season? It always kind of reminded me of that. Even more so, when in The Flash, they would have Jay Garrick team up with Barry Allen because John Wesley Shipp played Barry Allen in the 90s show, so that's always cool. So, The Flash is coming to an end, and a lot of fans are going to be like, well, what do we want from this final season? Obviously, we just want the show to be good. We just want, all I can ask is, give me a few good episodes. Like, we're going to have 13 in this final season. I'd love for, at minimum, 8 great episodes. Love for all 13 to be good, but you know what? I'll settle for 8. 8, you give me 8 good episodes. To me, that is a nice way to cap it off. But there are some things, if we want to get more specific about what fans want for the final season, there's some things I would like, and I figure I'd just read them off real quick. So, one of the things I would really like, and I'm starting with the most impossible one. I know it. I know because of scheduling conflicts it won't work out, but the first thing I would want would be for Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns to be more involved in the final season. So Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns originally developed the show with Andrew Kreisberg in 2014, and I think that, and look, Greg Berlanti, super busy dude, directing movies now, like, I think, is it Love Simon or Love Victor? One of them's the movie, one of them's the TV show, but he directed that, which was a big hit. And Jeff Johns, obviously, very busy with a really good show called Stargirl, but I believe I've read in interviews, both Greg and Jeff have said that The Flash is their favorite superhero. So, since the show is coming to an end, I just would love for them to be more involved because, like me, I think a lot of fans would love for this show to feel like season 1 again. Not like where Iris doesn't know he's the Flash or thing, but just the quality level to be back to that great first season. Like, we have the comedy, we have the heart, we have the super heroics. I think everyone would agree. We would love to have it get back to season 1 quality. Number 2, other fans may disagree, but I'll just throw it out there. Because why not? It's my show right now. I don't have the other guy with me hosting this. I can do whatever I want. So, standalone episodes. I get it. Fans, even me, we love stories that last a whole season. However, since Crisis on Infinite Earths ended, to me, it just always feels like the weakest episodes of The Flash are the ones that tie into these overall season story arcs that the show sets up. And they're just not very good. Like, the best episodes are the standalone ones. Like, I mean, it kind of tied in, but Armageddon was super strong. Like, easily the best Arrowverse crossover since Crisis on Earth X. We had that one episode where Barry was helping prove that the father of some kid did not commit a crime because he saw himself in the kid. Even though everyone else was telling Barry, this guy is guilty, Barry was like, no, I'm not going to have another kid lose his dad to the system like I did. And also, the Curious Case of Bartholomew Allen. That was a great episode where he's aging internally. That was a great episode. Probably my favorite episode of the season. So, you know what? Let's not have a season story arc. Let's just tell 13 great stories. That's what I would like. Will they do it? I don't know. Eric Wallace has previously said that the show would continue the graphic novel storyline, although he did say he hopes the show gets to 10 seasons, and we know that's not going to happen. So, crossing my fingers, I think what's best for the show would be to do what Arrow did in its final season, which were just standalone episodes. That's what I would like. So, returning characters, obviously, Cisco Ramon. I mean, everyone loved that dynamic between Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin in the first few seasons. Cisco, I said Barry was his best friend, and I really want him to come back for this final season. Like, it would feel incomplete to not have Cisco in the final season, just like it would have felt incomplete to not have Felicity pop up at least once in the Arrow final season. So, there's that. Obviously, I would love, it's been a while since he's shown up. I think last time was season 6. Wally West, aka Kid Flash. Their dynamic was so great on the show. I love Wally West. I really would love, Wally West, when I was growing up, was the Flash. And he was the Flash in the Justice League Unlimited show. So, I have a special place in my heart for Wally West. So, I would love to see Wally West return to the show. Obviously, I think this one is pretty much a guarantee. Jay Garrick returning to this show. I love seeing him team up with Barry. Oh, that's one I really hope for. Another one is, now look, they said they killed him off in the season finale of season 8. But let's be honest, he's been killed off multiple times. You can find a way to bring him back. Every Batman has his Joker. Every Superman has his Lex Luthor. And the Flash has the Reverse Flash, aka Eobard Thawne. I would love for him to come back this final season because he is the big bad guy. And the Flash has done really a great job of having him be a villain that really has encompassed the whole show. I really appreciate that. And if we're also talking villains, I would love to see the classic rogues gallery, like Captain Cold, like Mick Rory. You know, those characters. It would be great to see more classic. The Trickster by Mark Hamill. That would be awesome. I would love to see just the more classic Flash villains, because we haven't seen them in a while. All right, last one. Last thing I want. You know, looking at the show, I feel like we've checked every box. I feel like the story of the Flash has been told. So, as much as this show should be this season should be used to wrap up Barry Allen's story, I would also say, you know what? We've pretty much told the Flash story. Let's also just wrap up the Arrowverse. Let's give it one last hurrah. For its 10th anniversary, we're going to go out on a high note. And I would love a Brave and the Bold type season where every episode is the Flash teaming up with another superhero in the Arrowverse. Appearances from Supergirl, that's right, who wouldn't love to see that duo again? Ray Palmer / the Atom, who we saw in Armageddon, and he also, I think it was the third to last episode of this season, White Canary, aka Sarah Lance. I don't even know if she uses that name anymore. But Sarah Lance would be a great one. Again, I believe she was in Armageddon. I think so. Either way, we last saw her in Crisis with Barry Allen. No, wait, the last time would have been in the Arrow finale, if she wasn't in Armageddon. But I'm pretty sure she was. It's been a while since Armageddon aired. Black Lightning. They were so great together in Crisis on Infinite Earths. And another one, you know, Superman and Lois may be separate, but there is a Tyler Hoechlin Superman in the Arrowverse. So I would love to see Arrowverse Superman appear in the final season of The Flash. I mean, he's the Superman Lois Flash. He just has to wear that old costume, which has the bigger Superman insignia on it. And finally, the big one. The big guy. You know who it is. It's the one we all want to come back for the final season of The Flash. Oliver Queen. Now, some people would like to see him come back as the Spectre. And look, I want Oliver Queen to come back no matter what. But I would very much prefer to have Oliver Queen return as the Green Arrow. However, if you want to, you could do one episode where he's the Spectre, and then one episode where he's fully back as Green Arrow, because honestly, as Green Arrow without powers, that is where he's one of the most interesting characters in the Arrowverse. So I would love that. Oliver is the character I would like to see appear in multiple episodes of the final season. And you know what? Let's just end it with a 2-part Justice League episode. Let's go out with a final awesome crossover. Just all of them together, fighting crime together. Oh, it would be awesome. And how could the show end? And, you know, some people are going to say, to make it feel like it was the complete story, that either Barry Allen either has to die or he loses his powers and retire. Some people believe that, you know, to have a complete ending. But for me, considering this is the end of The Flash and the Arrowverse, I would love for it to have a final scene similar to the final scene of Justice League Unlimited, where the heroes just run out from the Hall of Justice to their final adventure. And, in the show, Wonder Woman had that line, and the adventures continue. And we have just all the heroes run out, from Martian Manhunter to Black Lightning to Superman to Batwoman. And the final shot would be the big three of the Arrowverse: Flash, Green Arrow, Supergirl, all three running towards the camera, and then we cut to black, and that is the end of the Arrowverse. To me, that is the dream ending. Do I think that will happen? Probably not. They'll probably want to give it, a little bit of more finality, but I would love that to be the ending. I think that would be awesome. So, guys, there we go with this special breaking news edition of Comment Section, talking about both the end of The Flash and the end of the Arrowverse. Oh, I also should mention, unfortunately, as much as I love John Diggle, and I would have been interested in the Justice U show that they were developing that would have had John Diggle, I think the end of The Flash means that show probably won't happen. But, well, we're talking about the end of The Flash and the end. By the way, John Diggle, he should pop up in the final season of The Flash, too. He's probably my favorite original character that the Arrowverse created. So, just had to throw that in there. So, there we go. The end of The Flash Season 9. The end of the Arrowverse. Now, look, we still have about a year until it's over, but you know what? We still have some time to count down to at least 13 episodes. Hopefully, some great ones in there. And you know what, guys? Once it ends, once Barry goes and concludes the story, when the title card pops up that says The Flash, and we see the end credits, you know what? I'm just going to sit back and be like, you know what? What a ride. What a ride. Stephen Amell, in the little behind-the-scenes thing they did that aired before the Arrow finale, he said this thing that was always stuck with me about how once you get to the end of something, you hope that the audience will say, I'm glad I stuck around. And I just remember one day, I had to DVR it, but turning on the Arrow pilot, watching Oliver leave Lian Yu, and wondering, all right, is this going to be good? Because, it was like, you are following the steps of Smallville. This better be good. And it was awesome. And as we come to the end of this journey with the Arrowverse, I can honestly say that I look back and I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I stuck with it. And, we'll still have Superman, Lois, and Stargirl continuing the legacy of the Arrowverse. But, this amazing ride, it had to come to an end sometime. And it's coming to an end in 2023. We still have some time, guys. We still have time before it's over. But you know what the nice thing is? The nice thing is that once the final scene of The Flash airs, once we get that title card, once the credits roll, the nice thing is that we can go back, whether you go to a streaming service like Netflix, although we'll probably someday move to HBO Max, or if you're like me, pop in that DVD or Blu-ray, pop on the Arrow pilot, and you can enjoy the ride all over again. So, in a way, we're lucky, because we get to experience, once it ends, can do it all over again. And you know what? We know how it's going to go this time, and it's going to be awesome. So, there we go, guys, with this special breaking news edition of Comment Section. Flash Season 9 is going to premiere in 2023 on the CW. 13 episodes where we can, as an audience, one last time say, Run, Barry, run!